But don't forget, yeah, I'll just like watch over.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this beautiful, joyous celebration of life for Mrs. Fialkow. We'll be having her family. I would like to thank all of you for being here today and participating with us. And at this time, I want to introduce you to Cantor Scott Forsky, who will be officiating our service for us.
For those who are standing, there's certainly chairs up front here on the couch, so you may move up if you would like. Or not.
Oh, are you saying that right? Yeah. I'm ready.
Benenosh, Bachashvechu, Adam Vedama, Yamak Tselve, Babake, Molevish, Tashevenos, Adaka, Vatome, Shuvene, Adam. Oh God, what are we that you take knowledge of us, or that you make account of us? We are like a fleeting breath. Our days are as a shadow. In the morning we flourish and grow up, and in the evening we are cut down and wither. You turn to us and declare, return to me, or that we are wise and would consider our final end. The glory of humankind resides with us, the eternal memory we endure forever, in the heritage that we leave. Who among us here in this room filled with love for Joyce, for Mama, has not passed through our own trials and bereavements? Some of us bear fresh wounds in our own hearts, and therefore feel more keenly the kinship of sorrow with those who love and will always love Joyce the most. Others of us, whose mourning is more remote, still recall when a silent hug or a kiss or a word brought comfort to our sorrowing hearts. All things pass, all that lives must die, all that we prize is but lent to us. We are travelers on the same road that leads to the same end. So we gather today with all our hearts, our souls, and our minds to remember Mama, Joyce, my mom. We gather here with many mixed emotions, certainly with the emotion of knowing that she is not with us in this world anymore, but with the knowledge that she is on her way in all God's speed to her eternal resting place to be with those who have gone before her in a reunification of life. And also with the knowledge of Judaism teaches that people never really die. Their spirit lives on, what we call in Judaism, Lidor Vador, from generation to generation. It is certainly, as many of us know, a custom, a tradition in Judaism, a loving tradition, to name boys and girls that are just born after ones that we cherish. So I can certainly foresee in your home, in years to come, or a year to come, or 9 months to come, I can certainly foresee in your home in years to come. Little Joyces roaming around. And those little Joyces will be taught that they are named after someone very, very special. And that little boy or that little girl will be taught and grow up with the knowledge of whom they are named after. And that will be a blessing to them. And that will be a blessing to her as well. In the 23rd Psalm, King David writes that God will walk us through the valley of the shadow of death. King David never wrote over 3,000 years ago that God will leave us in that valley of death. So one day you shall wake up. And on that day, what will be left in your hearts are simply the joy-filled and the happy memories of Joyce. And those will be the memories that will be passed down from generation to generation. And those are the memories that shall be taught to boys and girls that will come after us with the knowledge that they live in the memory of Joyce. So if you know the traditional words of the 23rd Psalm, please say them out loud with all of your hearts together. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. We begin the words of love and the words of celebration for Mama.
My mom, Joyce, was a helper. It didn't matter if she knew you for 5 minutes or 50 years. Mom genuinely cared about you and your happiness. If you had a problem, she was going to help you find the solution. If I'm being honest, I didn't always want her help. I got it, I'd say. However, 98% of the time, I went ahead and did the things she said I should do. I could fight it, but she usually did know best. In high school, I was headed to Italy on a school trip. Right on brand, I lost my passport during a weather-related stopover in DC. I couldn't continue on the flight to Italy with my friends and had to go home. My mom spent the next 2 days making phone calls. I still don't know who she called or how she did it, but the next day I got an emergency passport, and a day later I was on a flight to meet my friends in Italy. Her tenacity and warmth combined were a superpower. My mom was more than a fixer. She was also a lot of fun. She took so much joy in traveling and taking meandering drives. Among my favorite memories are when we would set off with no destination in mind, and she would let me pick which direction we should go in. Julie, should we make a left or a right here? She would ask. On the journey, she would notice and enjoy every little thing. I would always make fun of her for reading every single sign we passed, and how she would frequently comment on how high the water was in every random pond or lake. While she was a practical problem solver, she also had a sense of whimsy. I remember being intrigued by giant searchlights in the sky, and she would drive around with me until we found out where they were coming from. Mom encouraged me to try new experiences, even if they weren't her cup of tea, or Diet Coke in her case. When we were visiting Vancouver, she signed me up for windsurfing lessons. When she saw an ad for a community theater production of Cinderella, she encouraged me to try out. Most of all, and what she is my hero for, is the goodness of her heart. I didn't just assume my mom loved me and was proud of me. She told me so. Her words and actions of love were free-flowing, and nobody gave hugs like my mom. I wish I could have bottled them up. I don't think I stopped crawling into her lap until I was about 40. Although I'm technically an only child, my mom is mom to so many through teaching. Through Facebook, my mom didn't just connect with former students, she uplifted them and offered advice. I remember visiting my mom at her school in Riverside. I thought she was so mean for giving so many kids detention. It turns out most of them just wanted to hang out with her as long as they could. Some weren't even in her class. Just like a mom, she was funny. Sometimes she yelled, and you know for sure she loved you to the moon and back. My mom's students loved her far beyond fourth grade. My mom also adored being a grandmother to her grandson Quincy. Whether it's watching his dance routines or buying him every single Mario Brothers item on Amazon, she took absolute pleasure and pride watching him grow up. Her last text to me was, "Thanks for your help. As Quincy grows up, we grow needier. You and Roger have really done a wonderful job of creating a very special kid." Speaking of Roger, she was so happy to have a son-in-law who not only is a technology guru, but loves her daughter so fully and authentically. She would be so delighted to see how he has been supporting my dad and I this week. My mom and dad were truly best friends. Don't get me wrong, best friends can argue, and they sure did. But they shared the same values and really, really took care of each other. They shared a special bond, both being dedicated teachers, but really, they just got each other. My dad loses everything, and my mom always knew where to look. It wasn't always perfect, but it was a real testament to unwavering love. My mom isn't here physically, but her unconditional love will be with me forever and inspire me to be a better human. Her big, beautiful smile and heart will always be on my mind.
If you had the honor and the privilege of knowing Joyce, she went by many names of love according to your relationship with her, a formal name, a nickname, a silly name, a family name. When we say the words, "we will remember," please say the name out loud that Joyce was known to you as, specifically, that she will always be known to you as when you have the blessing of thinking of her. Say that name out loud. In the rising of the sun and at its going down, we will remember. In the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, we will remember. In the opening of the buds and in the rebirth of spring, we will remember. In the blueness of the sky and in the warmth of summer, we will remember. In the rustling of the leaves and in the beauty of autumn, we will remember. In the beginning of the year, and when it ends, we will remember. When we are weary and in need of strength, we will remember. When we are lost and sick at heart, we will remember. When we have joys we yearn to share, we will remember. So long as we live, she too will live, for she is now a part of us, as we will always remember.
I am heartbroken. I never got a chance to hold your hand and kiss you and say goodbye. You're gone, and I am alone. 48 years of ups and downs, twists and turns. Joyce, my partner, my best friend, my soulmate. I have to navigate my life without you. It is daunting. It is frightening. It is downright petrifying. You were beautiful inside and out. You cared about others. You raised a daughter. You and I raised a daughter who was the best of both of us. Julie is a woman. She's an exemplary woman. You were a nurturing mother and wife. You were an amazing teacher. Many of your students praise you as a favorite teacher. I have so many fond memories. Julie's birth. We were in ecstasy. I remember when you gave up smoking. You went cold turkey. That's no small feat. Julie's bat mitzvah. What a party that was. And Julie's marriage to my wonderful son-in-law, Roger. Never forget that day. And our great trips, the national parks trip in 1986 with your mom. That same year, we moved from Delran to Moorestown into our new house. In 1992, we flew to Seattle and drove to Vancouver. The scenery was breathtaking. Your photography skills produced some of the best pictures that I've ever seen. We have them on our walls. In recent years, your health unfortunately started to decline. In the last few of those years, you were confined to your bed. Others, including me, would have wallowed in self-pity. You did not. You advocated for yourself. You wrote bills. You reconnected with friends and ex-students on Facebook. You never gave up. I will miss you endlessly. I know you're in a better place with your mom, dad, and your brother. But someday we'll be together again.
If you're able to, please rise. Not. In ancient times and even today, when we lose someone as beloved, as Joyce, we tear a piece of clothing. Many Jews still tear clothing, others wear a kriya pin. The black ribbon you are wearing now, it is symbolic of our heart is torn, our heart is rendered, and it is up to all those here today, and in the days and weeks and months to come, to heal your hearts for however long that may take. You wear for 30 days from today. No matter where you are, no matter what clothing you are wearing, no matter whom you come into contact with, to let those in your circle of love know that you miss one as beloved, as mom, as Joyce. Please repeat after me. Baruch
Baruch
atah
atah
Adonai
Adonai
Dayan
Dayan
ha'emet.
ha'emet.
Praised are you,
Praised are you,
eternal judge.
eternal judge.
Adonai
Adonai
Natan
Natan
va'Adonai
Adonai
Lakach
Lakach
Yehi
Yehi
Shem
Shem
Adonai
Adonai
Mevarach.
Yevarach.
The Lord giveth,
The Lord giveth,
the Lord taketh.
the Lord taketh.
Praise be the name of the Lord.
Praise be the name of the Lord.
Please tear your ribbon about a half an inch on the bottom. And you may be seated. Okay. And now, if all may rise for the prayer of our departed, the El Malei Rachamim. El Malei Rachamim, Shochim Bamronim, Ametzei Meluchem Nechona. תחת כנפי השכינה, קדושים טהורים גזרה רקיע, מזהירים את נשמת חנה יהודית בת מלכה ויוסף, שלך לעולמה, ברחמים, יסריה בסתר, כנפיו לעולמים, בצרה, החיים, Adonai Lachata B'Tanuach B'Shalom Al Mishkava V'Nomar Amen. You may be seated. And to the family, you have begun to fill out and gather in all these forms that simply must be filled out for many, many different purposes. And on every form is the date of Joyce's birth. Many of the forms have a little dash after her birth date. And after that dash is the date of her passing. What's important, of course, is her birthday for each and every year to remember her heavenly birthday. And certainly in Judaism, the date of the passing is of utmost importance to the light the Yahrzeit candle, the light, the memorial, the remembrance candle. But even more important than those two bookend dates, of course, is that little dash in between. For that dash is a symbol of so much love given, and as we can see and hear today, so much love received. That little dash is a symbol of a life well lived and the highest compliment that you can ever call a Jewish woman, that is an Eshet Chayil, a woman of valor. So when you continue to fill out all these forms for the next weeks and months, look at the two bookend dates, but even more importantly, look at that dash. Because that little dash is why we're all here to celebrate my mom today. And on that, we can all say, Amen. The family would like those who would choose to give from your heart in loving memory of Joyce to give to the JCFS of South Jersey. That's the Jewish Children's and Family, and that's associated with the Jewish Federation of South Jersey in Joyce's name. Straight from here, we will go to the service at Crescent in Pennsauken. And may the memory of Joyce always be a blessing to all of us, l'dor v'dor, from generation to generation, as we all say, Amen. If you did not have the opportunity to pay your respects to the family, you may do so now. And in just a few short minutes, we shall leave in procession to the cemetery. You may rise. If you haven't had a chance to give your well thoughts to the family, you may do so now.